What's going on, guys? I think I've said it in a previous video, but I live in Wales and the weather here at the moment is horrendous. This is the first real break we've had in the rain, and now we've got all this snow, and it's all really starting to take its toll on the Fiesta. Every time I open the boot, I'm greeted with a completely soaked carpet and water dripping from, I think it's coming from the boot latch or somewhere like that. So I think I know what's happening, or at least I hope this is what it is. I think the rear lights are leaking. Probably both sides, and also I've got a feeling that the third brake light's leaking as well. Now, I'm not sure if you'll remember from my walk around video, but the boot pop button on the key doesn't work at all. And the button on the dash isn't working either. I also really struggle to get it open with a key. Something's catching, and I really have to use quite a bit of force, to the point where one time when I tried to do this, the key actually separated because I was having to put so much force through it to open the boot latch. And if you look at the boot carpet, you can see where it's, been wet at one time or another. It's not actually that bad right now. It is a little bit damp, but it's not as bad as it has been. But you can see, obviously the boot's dirty and needs a clean, but you can see where it's sort of, stained or marked from being wet, or maybe that's a bit of mold. I don't really know what's going on, but I need to sort it out. So we're going to remove the rear lights and the third brake light as well, because what I am noticing, sometimes it didn't happen when I opened the boot just now, but like water's leaking from around here, I find, and like this is all normally wet up here, and like when I open the boot I get water dripping on my arm or my hand or whatever. So let's see if we can fix that. Now, the rear lights on this are really easy to remove. There's just a couple of screws, one at the bottom, one at the top. You've seen me do this before when we upgraded Ash's car from the pre-facelift to the facelift lights like this. So yeah, I think it's just two T25 torque screws. So once those screws are out, these literally just pop out. Oh, there's a couple of little pop rivet type things. One of mine's broken on each side, so there we go. Right, so I've just gone ahead and popped all the bulbs out because I don't think it's this light cluster that's actually the problem, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. I think this could be our culprit here. Maybe not necessarily this one on this side, but I think it is these that are leaking. So there's like a seal around this clip here where the wiring connects. You can, I think, pop this out, but they can be quite brittle. I know the set that we put into Ash's, this had actually broken on the set that we were putting in. If I wiggle that there, I can see the movement of the seal around that, so I'm wondering if that seal has gone on this side, to be fair. It's just a case of like really figuring out how you pop that out. It's probably easiest if you take the electrical connector off from the inside. There's just like a little tab you can pull to remove the connector. Again, you've seen us do that in the video where we worked on Ash's car and upgraded his lights to the facelift ones like these. There's a little plastic tab on the inside, and I'll show you when I can eventually pop this out. I'm just a bit wary of like breaking it at the minute, so I'm gonna have a good look inside and see how to actually take that off before I pop it out, because like I say, I don't want to break anything. Okay, so I'm just gonna see if I can show you this. I've figured out how to do it, but if I can get the camera in there, it's really hard to show you, but you see that electrical connector there? Just above the connector, there's like a tab that you can like push down. It's going to be hard for me to get my hand in here and show you. I'll show you once it's out the car. But basically, if you push down on that, I'll put the camera this side. But basically, you just push down on that tab, if I can find it again. You push down on that tab, and then that should release. So I was just pushing down on that bit there from the inside. This is the bit you want to be careful of. This little tab at the bottom, that like little plastic thing there, because that hooks into that bottom hole, and that's the bit that broke off on Ash's. So when you try and put this back in, it just doesn't seal on there. And you can see quite a lot of moisture around there, and the seal on that does look a bit dodgy. So fingers crossed, if we can replace that, then we should fix our problem. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other light out, and then we're also gonna take off the third brake light, which lives just up under there, and hopefully fix the seal on that as well. probably worth just mentioning to get the bulbs out of here. They're all just like a twist fit. They just pop out like that. And then I'll just try and release the thing on this side. There we go. Oh, the seal on this one is even worse. Look at the state of that. No wonder the boot's leaking. Look at that. Now to get the third brake light out, we just have to remove these two rubber bungs, and they can be quite awkward. Like, these feel really brittle, like it feels like they're just gonna rip, but I can just pop them out with my hand. But they do feel pretty flimsy. They've probably been in here a while. Just about grip them and pull them out. I can't actually remember how you do this. I have had it off before. Basically, somewhere up in there's something you have to press against to release the third brake light. I can't see it myself, and I can't see it on the camera. I can't quite remember what you have to do. I think you just have to like throw a screwdriver up there and wiggle it around until it pops out. So really, I'm just gonna have a root around with a flat blade screwdriver. There's just something that you have to unlatch. I think that might have done it, you know. I don't know if you heard that. Let's have a look. Yeah. You just kind of have to fish the screwdriver up in there, and you have to go at quite an angle, and then you come across something that releases it. I'll just pop this out. You just have to undo an electrical connector. And then, yeah, one thing I did forget, there's a line for the rear windscreen washer, which I hope is just a push fit, because I'm going to try and pull that out. Yeah, there we go. Just a push fit thing. So, I don't actually know what it is you press against. I'm guessing. So it sits in there that way, and there's these little metal, tabs here, and here. And I think the screwdriver pushes up against the backs of these and just releases it. So that's how you get that out. But if you look at the seal on that, I mean, that's gone. So we're probably leaking from there as well. And while we're at it, we're also going to replace this boot solenoid, because I'm pretty sure that's the reason why the button on the key and the button on the dash aren't working when we try and open the boot. Now, I've had a look online for a replacement seal or gasket to go around these clips, and the only thing I found, we were looking at over £15 just for one. I mean, that's on eBay, but I didn't really find much else anywhere else. And seeing as this is a DIY channel, we're going to find an alternative. Now, what I've got is this. This is some 2mm thick, self-adhesive, closed cell foam, which is listed as being waterproof. So I'm hoping we can use this to reseal our lights. I got this stuff on eBay from a site called eFoam, I believe they're called. I've used them in the past. I actually used their foam. It's a different type of foam, but I actually used their foam to make my inserts for my toolbox, and you know, I've always found to be really good. They have all sorts of different types. They have foam for like filling furniture, cushions, things like that. They do closed cell, like open cell foam. They do foams for like fish tank filters, all sorts of stuff like that. So like I say, they're on eBay, but they've also got their own website. They can cut to size, or you can buy sort of pre-cut stuff. I mean, I bought an entire shipment of it. That whole like yellow roll there, it's all that foam. I've probably got enough there to reseal the lights of probably every single one of my subscribers. Now, while we're on the topic of subscribers, I mean, I can't thank all you guys that subscribed enough for what you've done so far. Like, this channel's only really just started, and, you know, I'm so grateful for everyone who subscribed already. But I've noticed, for my subscriber numbers, my views are actually, like, really high. So I don't know if that just means that some of you are watching the videos multiple times, or what it's more likely going to mean is that a lot of you that watch the videos aren't subscribed. So I hate asking for this, but if you do watch the videos and you do like what I do, please, 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 could you hit that subscribe button, because it really helps me out. Anyway, let's get on with fixing these lights. Now, all I'm really planning to do is to carefully remove the seal or gasket, whatever you want to call it, from this plastic clip here. Some of it comes away quite easily, some of it's kind of stuck on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm then going to, I mean, it's an absolute mess, but what I'm going to try and do roughly is trace around this on the foam, and then kind of cut that shape out of this foam and stick it back on there. mean, these don't look great. I mean, I'm terrible at tracing and drawing and all that sort of stuff, but I think if I can get the basic shape, we should work out alright. I'm not holding out too much hope for this like third brake light seal. I didn't realise there was this like thicker rubber piece that sits in around the rear windscreen washer, so I'm not holding out too much hope for that, but we'll give it a crack if needs be. I think if I order a new sort of whole unit for that, it'll come with a seal, but I mean that one is shot out, it's ripped, and that could very well be where it was leaking from the most, if it was even leaking from the two side ones at all. But I think these will be alright. They look a bit weird right now, they're not quite the right shape, but I think it's because those things are so deformed. But yeah, we'll cut these out and see how we get on. I'll make sure I give sort of this surface a clean and all around here a clean before I try and stick the new ones on. I'll just cut a little slit in for that thing. So yeah, let's cut these things out and see what we've got. I mean, if we make a mistake, so I've cleaned up all those surfaces where the new seals are going to fit. I have actually gone and cut these out again because before I just kind of cut around the old ones and it left these massive holes which I didn't really need. I found out you could leave it like a lot smaller, so there's a lot more sort of material on there, because all up here, I mean, for some reason on the originals that's cut out, but you don't really need that. What I've also gone and done is there's all these like ridges on the plastic housing here, so I've gone and like made little slits in there just for that, so they all fit on nicely, and that does sit on there really snug. And same for this little piece at the top, I've just put like a slit in there. So I'm just gonna go over this one. I'm gonna use the one I've already cut as a template. Like I say, I'm just gonna cut those little bits out and the square like centerpiece, just so we can get that connector in there. Right, okay. I'll just check that the other one fits. There we go. So yeah, that fits on there nice and snug. So this stuff should just be self-adhesive. Don't know how sticky it's going to be. By the feels of it, very. I mean, it doesn't look the best. I've kind of missed a bit up the side there, but it should still seal okay. This stuff doesn't seem as thick as the other stuff, like the old one, the original gasket that was on there, but I mean the original one's all old and crusty, so I would have thought that this will do a better job of sealing these than they were in their current state anyway. I was actually trying to find 1mm originally because I thought that would be thick enough, but I'm glad I went for the 2. I kind of wish I had gotten slightly thicker, but I mean this should be fine. But yeah, it should go in there fine. So that's those two. Now I've just got this third brake light. Now I'm not holding out much hope for this working. I don't really know how this one's going to go down. I just can't see this foam actually doing the same job as that rubber seal that was on it before, but we'll give it a go and see what happens. Saying that, we might be okay, you know. Might have to do a bit of trimming here and there, but this seems to be going on quite well actually. You know what, I take it back, I think this will do it. Yeah, that's actually really good. I actually think that's gone better than the flat pieces, so I've just got to like trim off a bit around here and then a bit at this end maybe. Yeah, you know what, I'm proper happy with that. I think that's really going to work. If you really wanted to like take your time and measure this stuff out and cut it out a bit neater than I have, you know, you can make this job look really good, but I think for what I need and the time scale I've got, I mean it's going dark outside now, so I need to get on and get these back in. Still got to fit that boot solenoid as well, so yeah, I don't know, I think these are looking alright for a quick job. Like I say, they're not the prettiest things in the world, but I think they'll be functional. But I'm actually shocked at how well this one's turned out. I mean, there's a little gap there, but I mean, as long as it seals around the outside, which I think it does, or I think it will, then I think we'll be fine. So Let's go stick these back in the car. Now I'm just going to clean inside here where the light sits with some degreaser, just so we've got a nice clean surface for the new seals to mate up against. Okay, so now I've wiped all that down, it's time to refit the third brake light. I've just got to attach the windscreen washer line onto there, it just presses on. It's nice and simple. Electrical connector just plugs into here. That's that on. There we go, that's sealed in there nicely. Just have to listen for that tab clicking in. Okay, lights are back in. Now let's see if we can get to that boot solenoid. Now it looks to me like there's just 3 bolts holding this in. I might be wrong, one up in there. You can't see them quite. Where's the other one? There'll be one up in there. And another one up in there. This one up here is actually a Phillips screw. I mean, this is a flathead screwdriver, but it fits, so I'm just going to undo it with that. A lot of you guys probably with me on this. You work with what you got, am I right? Right, and hopefully this panel pull off. Maybe. I have no idea. And then I believe the solenoid's under here, possibly? Or is this part of it? No, that's the rear wiper motor. Solenoid, I believe, is under this cover here. 2 Torx screws, I think they're T25s. And then this is the solenoid here. Just while we're here, I just want to press the button and see if that solenoid moves at all. When we try and pop the boot. See, it doesn't, does it at all? It doesn't move at all. Does that mean we have more than just a solenoid problem, or let's see if it moves now. Okay, so there we go. When I press the button in the car, it does actually try and release that. So whether or not we've got a problem with the key, I'm not sure. These are just 8mm bolts. There's an electrical connector at the back. This green bung thing here should slide out of the bracket, and then you can just twist and push that white piece out through there, I think. So there we go, that's that out. Oh, did that go that way around? No, that way around. Right, that's that in. Electrical connector on. Now, fingers crossed, and we press the button now. Okay, so the button on the key doesn't work. I mean, that sounded pretty good. Okay, yeah, so that was working with the button on the dash. That actually pops it. For some reason, the one on the key's not working. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But it's freezing cold out here, and I'm not going to try and figure that out today. So I'm just going to pop all this back together. And there we go. That's all back together. Now let's test and see if the boot actually pops. Yeah, the button on the key doesn't work. But the button in the car does. Happy days. There's no real way I can test for the leaks to see if sealing the rear lights and the third brake light has worked, but oh well, we'll see how we get on with that, and if it does leak again, I'll let you know and try and figure out another way of doing it. But that's pretty much going to end it for this video, so as always, thank you very much for watching, and if you're not subscribed, let me know in the comments what I can do to this car that would make you subscribe, if there's any mods you want me to do, any fixes you want to see, because I'm sure if I haven't done it yet and you want to see it, I'm sure this car needs it fixing. So let me know that in the comments below, and yeah, thanks for watching, see you next time.